Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is Vlogoween day 12. And I'm not going to be drawing for this demo just because it's, two vertical lines together. And sometimes they're parallel and sometimes, they narrow in or they narrow out for different joints. So there isn't really like a lot specifically to draw. But I thought in terms of looking at anatomy and some specific unique birds, and then maybe we could talk about like what happens to the legs when a bird flies. And that could also be helpful for understanding illustration and different things like that. My cat may want to say hi, I'm not sure. We're working on it. So the first really unique bird that I kind of want to talk about is flamingos. Okay, she's backing up. Thank you, sweetheart. Sorry, cats. And flamingos are really unique. I will throw up a pretty general identifying photo where you can see it looks like their knee should be in the leg. That's the ankle. And the knee joint, ball socket, is located up inside the bird. And then you have the digits, the phalanges at the bottom with that joint. So the flamingo is very unique in this, and scientists are still sort of doing studies as to how they balance on one leg. And I'll include a pretty interesting article for NPR about it. When was this written up? Oh, in 2017, about when they fall asleep on one leg. But that, what you think their knee is, that's their ankle. So while most people don't draw birds with the skeleton inside of them, it's good to know that the knee is located in there, just for discussing it and talking about it and figuring out how do you want to draw it. Flamingo on both legs. The babies tuck one up, but you can still see it. I'll include a really cool photo that shows sort of one of the babies with its ankle tucked up real high. But as they get older, you lose that leg completely when they just stand on one. So they're very unique in that. One of my very favorite birds ever. And there's a woman named Linda Murdoch. I will link her photography page. She takes really great photographs, and she has some of really long-legged birds that are really interesting because the knee is so up high on a lot of birds, and the ankle is so low, and everybody thinks that's the knee. So when you look at a long and tall black-necked stilt, you're looking at, their legs are they're pink, Venetian red maybe. I would go for a dusky warm pink when illustrating them. Add some warm grays with that. The length of their legs and then how they go to fold them. Again, these are her photos, Linda Murdoch, and these are absolutely beautiful. But when they fold, you can really see you can really see how interesting the joints are when looking at this. And again, maybe this isn't a bird you're specifically going to draw, but if you're looking for things that are unique, or if your illustration style is one where it's very specific, maybe it's not hyper realistic, but you want to do something fun with the legs, you then can, because it's sort of based on a form of reality. So knowing about birds' legs and where the joints are, you can then manipulate that and have that look a little different if you choose to. Maybe your long and tall black-necked stilt is wearing leg warmers, or really tall boots with the fur. That would be hilarious. Maybe your style lends toward whimsy or something like that. You could really play around with some of this, knowing about where the different parts are, how high the boot's supposed to go. And I mean socks, like bird socks on a bird would be absolutely hilarious. I mean, even the babies have super long legs that bend really awkward. And it's just, there's some really unique birds to look at. One of my favorites, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. It's from Africa. It's called the jacana. And it's a bird where all the babies rush under the mom's belly and hide under there. So when the bird walks, it looks like it has hundreds of legs, but it's all the babies like wrapped up in her feathers walking around. I'll include a photo. This is from Australian Geographic. And this photo is from JMX. So thank you, JMX. We appreciate great photos like this. I will link a photo where you can see the chicks. They basically carry them under the wings. Sometimes the birds lift up and it just looks like there's so many legs. There's like 20 legs here. And then the bird lowers, and when the chicks are safe, they walk out from underneath her. So that could be a really fun and unique thing to sort of carry over to your illustrations. It's something that looks not quite correct, but you knowing the actual accuracy of it adds to the illustration. Everything adds. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to level up the art and the drawing and the creating and the painting with new ideas, new motivation, with just adding as much as we can. So like there's some weird bird legs out there. And I will link some really unique videos. The secretary bird. Okay, and this one is endangered. And this bird also has really incredible legs. It looks like it's wearing, shorts. Warm feather shorts. Warm feather shorts to the ankle. It's just fantastic. And I will include a bunch of really unique photos of this bird and then how it looks in flight, how they fold up. So when you think of how birds fold their leg in flight, it's almost like an accordion. They bend up at the joints and fold in. So here is just a bird skeleton. This is from Wikipedia Commons. And they're showing how the hinges of the joints bend of the legs that get tucked up in. So if you are drawing a bird that is coming to land or a bird that is taking off, depending on that bird and the length of its legs, and you've done a little bit of research so you understand, things about this bird and its movement and how that is in proportion, like what proportion of leg to body to head it is. You could then, without reference photo, just be in nature drawing them accurately and knowing that, hey, there's probably legs tucked up in there. If your photograph is if you've taken some photographs and you want to use one as a reference, but it's looking a little off balance, you could like untuck a foot because you know where it's tucked in. There are different things you can do. If you're looking at like a picture you've taken to use for later, or you're looking at them in nature and it just it's not of enough interest to you, or you want more bird in the picture, or you want it to look a little unique, you could unfold a little bit of leg, of digits, of things, because you know how that goes up into the bird. Understanding all these really unique things about bird legs and how specific they can be to certain birds. I mean, songbirds are all pretty small, so it's pretty similar with all of them, but as you get to flightless birds and larger birds, it gets more specific and unique to them. So, like I said, with research, with understanding, with breaking some of this down, look up the birds individually. There may be bird anatomy books you can get at your library. You could recommend to your library. See if they can get some of this stuff. Bird anatomy is very specific. If you live in a community that has very limited resources, has a very small library, it could be really hard to recommend them to pick up specific bird books like this. It's all worth a try. I mean, nothing ventured is nothing gained. But going out in nature, taking your own photos, and then referencing and double checking that on, your favorite search engine, and seeing about how the bird anatomy legs work. Again, I will throw up as many photos as I can that I think that will help. Some birds have really short legs. Let me pull up something if I can find, let me think of a really close, birds closer to the ground that don't take off. Like think of a kiwi and how muscular and short their legs are. That's going to be a very different anatomical situation. I will find, they just have very short legs. I don't know if I can find an anatomy sketch where that's broken down with the joints that's accurate. But know going in what birds you want to do. This is why having a list of everything you want to draw, of doing research prior to a drawing challenge or in the middle of a drawing challenge, can take up almost as much time per day as the actual drawing does, to make sure you're getting it correct based on what you want to show. Now, if legs are of no interest, if you're just doing head and beak, then all this is kind of moot. But know that if you start to get bored or you're underwhelmed or you want to try something unique in your illustration, there's a picture of a kiwi running. I'm gonna put it on here because it's so cute. I can't. Why are kiwis so cute? Tell me. This is from Dean Wright. Dean Wright, thank you for taking this amazing photograph of a kiwi running. So I assume that the knee is higher up with the fur, and that's the ankle where the skin starts. That's just fantastic. Photographs like this are very, very dynamic, and having dynamic references create dynamic illustrations. Like when I look at this reference photo, I mean, I don't think this is royalty free, but looking at this photo, it gives me an idea for like a comic book of a kiwi that's, you know, a rescuer but doesn't have hands. Like how cute would it be that this is like an EMT assistant in a comic book? And maybe it's teaching able-bodied children that you can have any job and be anything, but it's in the representation of birds and animals. Like all this just inspires and gives ideas and things for whatever your mind is drawn to when you go to create, when you go to draw, paint, whatever medium you prefer. Maybe you are looking to get into children's book illustrations, and so having some unique things like this and looking at birds in motion, watching birds take off, watching birds land, and then looking at their legs, like what their legs do as aquatic birds try and stop flying and land in the water. Some are infinitely more graceful than others. I am not bird shaming, absolutely not. But it is a sight to see when it never occurred to folks that some birds just aren't graceful. They're just not. So, again, this is just a quick little video talking about legs, where the ankle actually is to where the knee actually is, how that folds, and what you choose to include when you draw. If you want feet out, if you want to show a little leg, absolutely get in there. Figure out how to color match. Figure out the form and the shape of the leg. Figure out which bird you want to do. Do you want it to be all leg? It's up to you. Again, this is creative licensing. I drew a picture. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, so this is my Hobonichi planner from last year. This is the Hobonichi weeks. This is Year of the Tiger. And once a week I would do like the videos and the drawings, and then on the other side I would do an illustration. I will link this planner tour if you want to see what kind of little sketches and doodles I did in here. But here's a bird. I gave it a little mushroom hat. Don't eat this mushroom, please. And then for the legs, I did like a wood grain with wood knots. This is fine liner, and then this is just some Neocolor 2s in red. I don't typically work with red, but you can change once you understand the leg and how it works and its purpose and what it looks like for that bird. You don't have to have it be the same texture. Like, you can really get weird with it. If you need this to be alligator scales and whip into a tail, by all means do that. I mean, if you're just like drawing faces, then do that. But if you want to include leg, understand where the joints are at for that bird. And again, this is just a sample I did. They're just weekly little doodles in here. But it can be anything you want it to be, as realistic as, I mean, also fly ergogics don't make very good hats because of the poison thing, but, and how toxic they are. But for a bird, for whimsy, for fun, it's an idea, depending on what style and what you're going with. So for certain parts of the bird, and some birds have really long wings, some have tiny wings, it's the same with the legs. And figuring out if you want to include that and what that adds to your illustration. Obviously, I'm going with a woodland theme, like woods, mushrooms, and then tree trunks. That was kind of reiterating the same idea within it. Is it a stretch? Perhaps, but it's just an idea. They're all just ideas. So I hope this video helped and sort of gave you a starting point or an end point about how you feel about bird legs, about what bird legs add to your art, and different ways you can interpret that and include that. So I hope this video helps. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.